At Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, nearly 30,000 people drive through the gate every day. But the base also handles more than 9,000 flying sorties every year. That's where Staff Sergeant Daniel O'Connor comes in. All right, Sergeant O'Connor, tell us about your job.
Okay, I'm Staff Sergeant Dan O'Connor, and I'm an air traffic controller here at Wright-Patterson.
And how do you do that?
Basically, it's my job to make sure that airplanes don't crash, they don't touch, right? And more in depth, it's the safe and expeditious flow of air traffic throughout the national aerospace system. If there's an aircraft flying through our airspace, I'm the one that's telling them potentially how to get to their next point, or letting them know of any other air traffic or weather that could be affecting them.
Sounds like an easy, low-stress job.
Sure, you could put it that way. Realistically though, here at Wright-Patterson, we do have a little bit slower of an ops tempo, so we actually rely on our simulator here to keep up with our proficiency. Since we do have so much research and development here at Wright-Patterson, a lot of times different airframes will fly in to kind of show off to the engineers, hey, you guys built this, it's on the airplane, now you can come check it out, right? So I've seen a lot of aircraft that people don't normally get to see, right? So like a B-2 bomber, right? Stealth, F-22s, I've seen A-10s, I've seen the brand new H-60 helicopter, and other aircraft that aren't necessarily in the Air Force inventory yet, right? So it's really cool. You never really know what you're gonna see when you come to work that day.
So all those aircraft up there are equipped with the latest and greatest aviation technology. What happens if you just disappear?
It'd be a bad day. Especially a fighter pilot, right? If it's a single seat aircraft, I got one pilot who's trying to control an airplane that's really close to the ground. And if the pattern's full, we're showing 4 or 5 airplanes within a mile of each other, moving at a rapid rate of speed, right? So you might see this guy over here, but you might not see that guy over there, and you might not know what that guy over there is gonna do next. It's our job to kind of water it all down, make it really simple. That way everyone's on the same page. Without us, they don't have that. Things can get really bad, really fast.
Okay, so how do you make things simple for the pilot?
A lot of air traffic is what we call phraseology, where it's specific lingo that we use.
How about an example?
Let's see, runway 50 heavy, turn base now, traffic for Fallon's, A10 in the brake for 23 right.
Excuse me?
So essentially I'm talking to one of our rhinos, which is our call sign for the C-17s. I'm telling him to turn towards the runway, but he's actually number 2 because he's following an A10 that's doing a overhead maneuver, who's actually gonna cut in front of him and land on runway 23 right.
And pilots actually understand that?
So, funny enough, English is the international aviation language. So, I could be an air traffic controller in China, and the Chinese people would be able to speak to me in English if they're pilots.
That was English? Okay. Are there any other linguistic quirks in your line of work?
In air traffic control, everything is your operating initials. So my operating initials are Oscar Charlie, or OC, right? So everybody that talks to me within air traffic, I immediately know if they're an air traffic controller or they know me through air traffic when they call me by my operating initials. And when we go out, in public and stuff, I know them more by those operating initials than their actual last names.
And what does your wife call you?
She does not do that. She just calls me Dan.
So how does an E5 keep all those officer pilots in line?
Air traffic controllers are kind of known to have a certain A-type personality. If there's too much going on, or if we have, a high priority asset within our airspace, we can absolutely, tell people, hey, sorry, go somewhere else. You see a lot of, especially brand new people, freeze up when something happens, and they just kind of watch it happen. This is not the job for that. Our job is to see it before it happens and take care of it. And if you make the bad call, knowing how to make a good call to get out of that situation and quickly.
Speaking of calls, how often have you said,
"Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full"?
No, not yet. And so it bugs me because, in that movie, it seems like the pattern's wide open. But, but who am I to judge,
Final question. Have you ever crashed a plane?
No, knock on wood.
Excellent. Keep up the good work, OC. Thanks to Sergeant O'Connor and company, Wright-Patt hasn't had an aerial mishap in decades. A perfect example of providing strength through support at the 88th Air Base Wing.